For today's story, I slowly lose my mind as we review videos of sovereign citizens in court. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Uncivil Law, where we learn through the misfortunes of others. As always, I hope you'll enjoy this legal education content, and today may be the day I earn your subscription. So, our mod, Stephanie, has chosen for me stories that I have not seen regarding sovereign citizens, and she desires to cause me pain. So we're going to watch these stories of sovereign citizens. I'm going to slowly lose your mind. So you might want to know what a sovereign citizen is, and it's a bit hard to define, but basically it's a person who says, "You're not the boss of me," to the government, and then tries to come up with legal reasons why that's true. And the legal reasons hurt my brain so very, very much on every possible level. It's a little bit hard to unpack. It's because it's not exactly just normal stupid. It's sophisticated stupid. It's educated stupid. These are people who have come up with very convoluted, very complex things that are reminiscent of Kafka or something of that nature, where it's complexity and it's stupidity. The stupidity has been purposely designed in some ways, and so it's hurtful to my mind. It's hurtful to my brain and to my soul. But that's okay. Stephanie says it's a good thing for us to do, so we'll give us a try and see how this goes. Okay, so we're gonna watch this video, which has been thoughtfully entitled "Moorish Sovsit versus Judge Jeffrey Middleton." Okay, fine.
Mr. Morrow Bay, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, this is file 21213ST. It's entitled People versus Samuel R. Perdue, who refers to himself as Samir Siraj Morrow Bay. His mother named him Samuel R. Perdue. Mr. Perdue, you got another ticket for driving with a suspended license. Second offense, that's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. You're also charged with speeding. I'm assuming you're going to plead not guilty to both of those?
No, of course not. I'm innocent, and my name is not Mr. Perdue, so I would appreciate if you didn't call me Mr. Perdue.
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, if he wants to be called by a name that's like even vaguely reasonable, I'd be happy to do that as a judge. I don't know what this judge is going to do, but like, his legal name is one thing, right? So his legal name is the name that has to go on like the official documents and stuff. But if in court he wants to be referred to by some other name, as long as it's reasonable, I'd be inclined to say yes, you know? And he says, "I am innocent," which of course is technically true, right? He's innocent until proven guilty. So he's correct, although he does have to enter a plea. So guilty or not guilty are your two conventional options here. But, you know, so far it's not too insane. Okay.
I'm just gonna piss off the judge for you.
All right. Well,
Mr.
Mr. Morrow Bay, let me tell you this. Stop. Yeah, you're from some alternate universe where you don't have to obey the laws of
No,
the
you
state.
don't respect the law, sir.
Stop. If you drive again here in St. Joe County, I'm going to set
Break
your
the
butt
travel.
at $10,000.
And also,
I'm going to
lie
set
to
this.
you. You see this? Are you looking?
So he has a
I
driver's
was
license, but
forced
since
to
it's
get this license. I don't want it, but as you can see, your officer is a liar.
so he might have the physical license, but he's driving with a suspended license. So, you know, he might have the physical license, and also it could have been acquired after the date. So it may not be legally valid at this moment for the purpose of driving. So that doesn't really answer the question.
Well, what's the name on that? Is that Samuel Perdue or Mr. Morrow Bay?
Well, I'm forced to do this. Anything I do with y'all is under threat, duress, and coercion.
So you have
every time I.
That's kind of true. I mean, this is the nature of the state. This is the nature of the state. Thank you for stating something, you know, fairly obvious. Everything I do with y'all is under the nature of a threat or coercion. Right. That's what, yeah, the government has rules and laws, and they've been voted for and put in place, and the government uses force and coercion to get you to do those things. Yes, correct. Right. Okay, moving on.
I travel clearly.
All right, you
One
have
of your commercial mercenaries keep pulling me over.
you have a driver's license?
Because your commercial mercenaries continue to pull me over and they won't leave me alone.
Commercial mercenaries, the police officers. A commercial mercenary. Who are they? Who are they of? Mercenaries of what? Okay.
Well, stop driving. At least stay out
I
of
don't drive. I travel.
Oh, please, no, 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 not this. Not this, not like this. I don't drive, I travel. Oh. Oh, no.
All right, traveling is one thing, driving is another. You can travel all you want. All right, but let me make this
That's
clear.
what I'm doing, and they won't let me travel. They won't let me travel on my own land. And you're violating
On your own land? On your own land? You don't need a license to drive on your own land. You can drive on your own land. What are you talking about?
You're violating the law, and you know it.
Violating the law.
Well, one of us is.
You're violating the law, and anybody who needs to know anything about the
Now,
law,
slow
talk
down.
about it.
Slow down for a minute. That license you held up, is it a valid Michigan driver's license?
Is it a valid Michigan driver's license? Well, I was forced to go to your Secretary of State because you guys won't let me travel on my own land.
If it's his land, you don't need a license. You can drive without a license on your own land. You don't need a license to drive on your own land. It's fine.
That's as valid as it is. What's really valid is my nationality that you keep denying. So you're denying me due process, and you know it.
What is your nationality? A nationality of one? I mean, the United States does not. Yeah, we're not recognizing your nationality, right? Correct, sir. The United States. See, one of the things states get to do. One of the things states get to do is like recognize or not recognize other states. The United States can just recognize and not recognize states basically on a whim. It's one of the things that we can do. It's one of the things every country can do. Incidentally, is like determine who are and who are not countries. So you might consider yourself a country, but the United States doesn't recognize you as a country. So you're not a country. So if you want to contest that conclusion, you get your army and we'll get ours, and yeah.
Well, you haven't been convicted of anything yet. I'm just telling you, if you continue to keep driving on some cockamamie
I don't
thing,
drive.
you're behind the wheel of a car. Give me this BS about traveling versus driving. I'm just telling you right now, you heard it here. If you drive again in St. Joseph County and you get another ticket, I'm going to set a very high bond. You can sit in jail for 28 days until we sort this out. You're presumed to be innocent of the charges that you're charged with, and you've exercised your constitutional right to plead not guilty.
No, I
You're
didn't
gonna
plead not guilty. You said
plead
that. I said
innocent.
I'm innocent.
Well, I as a judge am going to enter a not guilty verdict for you because I can. Right? I can't enter a guilty verdict for you, obviously. But I'm just skipping this step and like, okay, you've not pleaded, fine. I'm pleading for you. It's not guilty. Congratulations, you're not guilty now. If you'd like to change that to guilty though at any time, please let me know.
Innocent.
All right, fair enough. We'll set this for a last pre-trial. Are you still at 312 North Sage Street, apartment 302?
North America is my domicile. You can send whatever information.
North America is his domicile? North America? Well, okay, now I'm so confused I'm confused on technical levels now. I don't understand. What? Wait a second. I'm just hopelessly confused. All of North America is his domicile? This would include Mexico and Canada, is he claiming they don't exist either? Is Canada and Mexico not a thing in his territory, in his world? They don't have power over him either? And if not Canada and Mexico, then like, why not all the countries? Why do any of the countries exist? Do any of them exist? Or is it just the America thing? Why are you not a sovereign citizen from all the countries? If you say that you're not a sovereign citizen from all the countries because only the United States has the UCC, I will hang my head in shame and then go and drink until I forgot you told me that.
So any judge who does not comply with this oath of office to the Constitution of the United States wars against the Constitution and engages in...
Okay. Okay, let me just stop you right there, boss. Yes, I've taken an oath of office. The oath of office requires me to uphold the United States Constitution and the state's constitution. Neither of those things recognize your independent sovereign ass. So I'm not violating my oath to the United States or the state of whatever by refusing to acknowledge your sovereignty because the United States government says your sovereignty doesn't exist. So actually, if I did acknowledge you, I'd actually be violating my oath. It's exactly it's exactly backwards. If I did recognize your independent sovereignty, then I would actually be betraying my oath because I'd be saying that you are an independent country, even though the United States says you aren't, and they're the ones who get to recognize countries. So, there's that.
All right, I'm gonna mute your microphone. I don't want to hear this crazy.
It's like nice. The benefits of
setting you for a last pretrial. We'll pick a date and I'll send it to you in the mail. I don't expect it'll settle the case. You already have one.
I never thought of that as a benefit of Zoom, that you can just put the defendant on mute, which incidentally doesn't violate his rights, because if you're in a formal courtroom, you can only speak when you have turns. There's like procedures. So it doesn't violate his rights. He's there. He gets to still see and everything. He just can't talk, which is, not a right that he has. So I would get to put you on mute. All court things by Zoom so I can mute your ass when I get tired of hearing of you.
One case set for a jury trial. We'll probably set both of these for a jury trial.
Okay, well, that was number one, but I don't know. Yeah, who is this guy? But yeah, so that wasn't too stupid. But
Good afternoon, sir. I'll call you by your preferred name, Mr. Morrow Bay. This is Judge Middleton. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can.
All right, we're waiting just a bit for the prosecutor to log in.
Understood.
He was with us just a bit ago. He should be right back.
Sweet.
Mr. Perdue, we are live, well, even though we're not doing anything here. We're live on YouTube and live on the Zoom platform. As soon as Casey Johnson from Prosecutor comes in, we'll conduct our business.
That's not my name.
Well, I know you're known to the Secretary of State by your birth name, but you prefer to be known as Samir Siraj Morrow Bay. And
I'm a national of Atlanta.
you're national of Atlanta?
Nationality.
Do you say Atlanta?
I thought, did you take an oath to this? Atlanta.
Bay. And
I'm a national of Atlanta.
I think there's a land. He's a national of the land. That's not a thing. The United States does not recognize the national of the land. We do not recognize that.
I understand.
My nationality.
That's not a nationality we recognize.
Did you take an oath to this?
I took an oath to the United States, yeah, not to the land.
Yeah, to uphold the Constitution.
Yes, the Constitution does not recognize
and the
you.
treaties.
There is no treaty regarding this.
Treaties. Those are federal. This is state law.
I know. This is. I shouldn't even be here. I should be somewhere federal. I should be in a federal courtroom, and you still haven't provided any delegation of authority order.
Well,
Okay. There's no delegation of authority order from the United States to the state of Missouri. Kind of actually the exact opposite way around, to be quite honest. Yeah, there's no delegation of authority letter from the United States to Missouri. There is a delegation of authority letter from Pennsylvania and Delaware and North Carolina, South Carolina, and several other states. Yeah, this is called the Constitution of the United States. That's the delegation letter. It's kind of the exact opposite way around on that one. Okay, fine.
Wait a minute till the prosecutor gets here and you can go through. You've said this stuff on each previous case.
I know, and I'm still waiting for my delegation of authority order. I'm still waiting. I never
not
got
gonna
it
get
in the
it.
mail. That's Article 3, Section 2. You took.
Okay, let me look up Article 3, Section 2. I don't know why I'm looking at provisions of the Constitution at this point, but apparently that's the thing I'm doing. So let me look up let me look up Article 3, Section 2. Article 3 deals with courts, by the way. So it's something dealing with the courts. Okay. Lord. Please help me. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution. Which cases arising under this Constitution, not the Constitution of Missouri. The laws of the United States and treaties made which shall be made, blah, blah, blah. The judicial power, it does not come from any of those things, sir. The judicial power is not arising under this Constitution. The judicial power, again, the judicial power of each of the sovereign states precedes the judicial authority of the United States. The judicial authority of the states existed first. And then they collectively, you see what they did is they collectively, each of the states, you know what they did? They got in a room and they said, hey, what if our states were united and stuff? And we had a national government too that could have laws. And that's what Article 3, Section 2 is talking about. Not talking about Missouri.
You could stop driving.
Yeah, why don't you try to get a remand? I forgot to switch the transition back while they were talking. Sorry about that. Why don't you try filing something with the federal court? See how well that goes out for you. That should be fun. Why don't you file a writ of mandamus or something, or with the federal court and say, hey, federal court, I shouldn't be here. I should be over with you guys. See how well that goes for you. That might be fun.
Driving a damn car, and then you wouldn't keep coming here, and you wouldn't have to deal
It's
with
Michigan. It's Michigan, not what I said. Okay, well, fine. It's same analysis. Fine.
Deal with you, which would
But a
make
driver,
both.
but isn't driving a commercial terminology?
No.
No.
It's
In
not?
your universe,
No.
in your universe, maybe it is, but in this
No.
one,
Driving is not a commercial
it's
term.
covered
No.
by Michigan Motor Vehicle Code.
So what about Black's Law Dictionary?
What about Black's Law Dictionary? Black's Law Dictionary is a dictionary. It is not the law. It's a summary of legal concepts. It is not in and of itself law. It's just a book that was written by a guy called Black, who wrote a book trying to summarize concepts. It's pretty good, incidentally, but it's not, the law.
Does that not
Well, as
count?
far as I know, that doesn't control Michigan traffic legislation.
And
Yeah.
as far as I know, you can't make up rules. to undermine the Constitution, and no matter what rules or codes you make up, it doesn't supersede the law.
There's no level of irony deep enough. There's no level of irony deep enough for what he just said. There's no level of irony deep enough for what he just said. He just said, as far as I know, you can't make up laws or code that challenge the authority or subvert the authority of the Constitution of the United States. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, it's you. Okay.
Here comes Mr. Johnson. I don't disagree with that. One of us keeps making up rules, but I don't think it's me.
I mean,
Mr. Johnson?
I'm pretty sure it is.
All right, well, let me call
No,
the
it's not.
case. This is file 21213ST. The actual title on the ticket is People versus Samuel Rufus Perdue. The defendant is here. He prefers to be known as Samir Siraj Maro Bey. I don't think he ever lawfully changed his name, but he goes by that name, and he has every time he's been here. He's charged once again with driving suspended second offense. It's alleged that on or about January 31st, he was operating a vehicle here in St. Joseph County while his license was suspended. He also got a ticket for speeding, so he tends to go too fast, always doesn't have insurance, and he doesn't have a license. He has two previous cases already pending. File 202073 is a driving suspended charge from September 17th. He liked that one so much, he got another one on November 25th. I think one or both of those cases he was speeding. That's file 2026653. Mr. Morrow Bay has a different view of the law. He wants to represent himself, which I've allowed, and we had agreed to set those two earlier cases for jury trial. As we discussed earlier, sir, I can't
represent myself.
He's technically correct.
I said, I'm sorry, I can't represent myself. I am who I am.
All right, but you don't wish to have a lawyer, is that correct?
Oh, no, I don't need one.
Okay, great. Then
Well,
you're proceeding
now
pro
you have
se.
your third driving suspended charge, and I told you last time, if you did another one of these, I was going to set a bond, but I'm not going to. Let me tell you this right now.
Now, I do not like this at all. I have to say this, I do not like this at all. If you're going to make threats, barring special circumstances, so, you can show mercy if there's special cause. But if you're going to say something, barring cause, you should go through on the threat, right? Otherwise, the threat is meaningless. So Judge Jeffrey over here is way too nice. He said, if you do this again, I'm going to set a bond. And he just said, well, you did it again, I'm not going to do that. Not because I have some special reason not to, because of extenuating circumstances. I'm just not feeling it. Judge Jeffrey's a little soft over here. I'm just saying, if you're going to say stuff, you got to follow through, man. Unless you realize that you're just plain wrong, so you could obviously say, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have said that in the first place, but I don't think that's the case.
I'm a traveler, not a driver, for the record.
We're all
For the record, yes, you are.
in this universe. At any rate, you haven't been convicted of anything. You've been accused 3 times, but you do not have...
I hadn't even thought about the fact that he is sitting in his car for a suspended driver's license. I mean, the car isn't moving, but still, there's something there.
lawful authority to drive in Michigan. If you drive again in St. Joe County, I'm going to set a bond, and you'll either post it or sit in jail while we await the ability to try your case. I can only leave you in jail for 28 days. But am I understanding, once again, sir, you wish to have a jury trial on this matter?
For my national peers, because I'm a national of the land, and you still haven't proven jurisdiction. I challenged jurisdiction a long time ago, and it's never been proven, and I'm still waiting.
All right, I had that discussion with a guy that was in jail once. I said, well, you're in jail, I guess you're in my jurisdiction. Let me tell you this, my jurisdiction is St. Joe County, and stop driving in it.
I don't drive. I'm a traveler by law,
You
and I've
know,
already sent you paperwork, and you never responded.
Well, because I'm not required to respond to it. You've got a skewed view of things. If this was this easy, everybody would declare themselves their own country and everybody could do whatever they wanted to. So
Well,
the
this is
rules only apply to you.
No.
The rest of us suckers are stuck complying with the law. So let's just figure out who the witnesses are, and we'll also set this for a jury.
For the land.
Casey, who have you got for witnesses?
Just a second, Judge. I'm sorry. 22. I had his other files open.
Only here special appearance, only because I have to. Because if I don't be here, you know, you're going to send your criminals to come
Now,
get me if I'm not here. So.
special appearance is a thing. It's a thing in civil law context, not so much the criminal law context, but special appearance is a thing. So I might as well teach you something of value for your legal education, right? As long as I might get something of value out of this experience. So special appearances are a thing. They're used in civil cases when you're contesting jurisdiction, right? So you're contesting jurisdiction, but you have to file things in the court to contest jurisdiction, right? So you're kind of in this catch-22 situation where, you know, I don't want to file things in the court because I think I'm not subject to your jurisdiction. But if I file things in the court to contest that, then I'm basically conceding to your jurisdiction, right? By the very act of me filing things saying I'm not. So the law, you know, got around the snake eating its own tail thing quite a long time ago, and we call it a special appearance, right? I'm coming in only for the purposes of contesting the jurisdiction, right? So I'm not really here. You know, I might be physically here in person. I might be physically here, and I might be filing things in your court, but I'm not really here. I'm in this zone where I'm only here for this limited purpose. And then once we deal with the jurisdiction issue and resolve that, then, you know, obviously we've resolved that. The reason that there's not a thing in criminal law is because you don't have that problem with jurisdiction, because you have jurisdiction because the crime happened in that place, right? So you're not having that problem where like, oh, maybe we should sue him here, or maybe we should sue him here, or maybe we should sue him here. It's like, no, we're bringing the case here because that's the only place to bring the case, because that's where it happened. So he's using a concept that kind of exists in law, but, you know, incorrectly. But what else is new?
I'm only here under threat, duress, and coercion.
Well,
just to
and
put that out there.
You're sitting in the driver's seat of your car. Now, I'm letting you wear your headgear because I think it's part of your beliefs, so I'm not going to push it. But you're sitting in the damn driver's seat. What's the witnesses?
Jesse Raymond, Your Honor. That's it.
Oh, the police, the so-called police officer who pulled me over is a witness also?
And a certified driving record.
Isn't that a conflict of interest right there?
No.
What?
Don't he work for the court?
He doesn't work for the court. The court's in the judicial branch. He's in the executive branch.
What's the conflict?
Right
I didn't even catch it.
That's it.
Oh, the police, the so-called police officer who pulled me over is a witness also?
And a certified driving record.
Yeah.
Isn't that a conflict of interest right there?
No.
Why?
Don't he work for the court?
He doesn't work for the court. The court's in the judicial branch. He's in the executive branch. Plus, you keep driving too fast. So you're a traveler. You get to travel whatever speed you feel like. You don't have to have insurance, and you can do what you want.
So it's a one-witness case. It's a one-witness case, right? Which, you know, for this, why not, right? I can get everything I need from the officer. The only thing that I need otherwise is like his driving record, which we can get from the police officer too. It's like, just introduce it as a fact. So it's like, yeah, it's a one witness case. I just need the officer. That's it. It's like, oh, is that a conflict of interest? How would that even be a conflict of interest? How does that even make sense? He's a witness against you. Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna set this on the jury list with the other two cases. And let me say this again: if you drive again and you get another citation, I'm gonna set a $1,000 cash bond, and you can sit in jail. So my strong advice is stay out of St. Joseph County.
So you do realize
you're already driving there. So I'm gonna mute your microphone, and I'll set this for a jury trial on a date
the mute button is a godsend to judges, I swear.
All right.
He disconnected.
convert a
Oh,
liberty
he unjoined and rejoined so his mic would come back on. That's such a dick move. That's contempt, by the way. It's like, yeah, I said I'm putting you on mute, and you joined and rejoined just so I can get your mic off. That's contempt, man. I tell you what, if Judge Uncivil ever becomes a thing, Judge Uncivil is going to be really unfriendly to people who dick around in my courtroom. You know, let's not do that. You know, we're all here. We're all professionals. There are rules. We're following the rules, people.
privilege, license it, and attach a fee to it, right? You do
Something
know that,
like-
right?
I don't make the law, I just try to apply it. All right, we'll set this for a jury trial the next day.
Your statutes and your codes are not the law.
The codes are in fact the law. They mean the same
It
thing.
has no end. We could, if we live to be 112, we could continue to have this argument. He wants a jury trial, he's entitled to have one, and we'll get there when we can get there. All right. Mr. Kaufman, I'll be with you in just a moment.
Is he going to
Mr.
keep trying to
Perdue,
join
you're good
it?
to go. We'll set this for jury trial with your
My name
other
is Samir
cases
Bey. I thought I already told you
at
that.
some time. Yeah, you told
Oh
me
man.
that. All right.
Oh my God. This guy would be in contempt in my courtroom. He would have been in contempt long ago. He would have been in contempt long ago. I'm not taking this shit. I have worked too hard in my life. I have worked too hard in my life, and I have too much education to deal with this crap. I'm here to actually decide law. And whatever this bullshit is not law. You are in my courtroom, and you are completely wasting my time. And you're doing it deliberately. This shit would not fly. It's like, we're gonna put you in contempt, and we'll try again tomorrow. We'll put you in contempt, and we'll try again tomorrow. Maybe if we do it enough days in a row, you know, you'll get the hint. And if the one day at a time doesn't work, maybe we'll try 2 days at a time. And then 3 and 4 and 5. And, you know, I can just keep coming up with numbers until, you know, you actually stop being a complete ass.
Well, they are back for another bout. But Mr. Bay is late for his trial. But even worse than that, he turns up late with 3 bench warrants for failing to appear for his last pre-trial hearing 3 weeks ago, and totally unprepared to represent himself. Judge Middleton is not happy.
Mr. Morrow Bay wishes to represent himself on these matters. He has a perspective on the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code that disagrees with the state's version of it, but
This guy can't even turn up for his own pre-trial, and he's late for this trial. So I don't think any of his debunked.
I just like to note as a matter of law that I, as a judge, don't have to let you make any defense that is not legally competent. You can't just argue anything you want to the jury. You can only argue things that are legally competent. I am a special sovereign citizen. Well, might let you talk to the jury because they'll see what an idiot you are. But you know, strictly speaking, I can prevent you from making any defense that is not recognizable in law. So, you know, you say the first sovereign citizen thing, it's be like, shut up, you can't offer that defense, try again. You're denying me my rights. No, I'm really not. You have to, you know, argue law things, and that wasn't one of them. Try again. But, you know, okay.
Legal theories will be getting any kind of airing today. Just a hunch.
he didn't want an attorney and didn't wish to have representation. He wanted to represent himself in all of these matters. So we treated him like an attorney. We set the matter for a final pretrial to prepare for jury trial. And he didn't show up. So there are presently 3 arrest warrants for Mr. Morrow Bay's arrest for failing to appear for duly scheduled last pretrials about 3 weeks ago. We don't show up on the morning of trial with a basket full of papers and inconvenience 30 to 50 jurors who have to come in and hear your case and several witnesses without.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons pretrial exists, for exactly this reasons. All right, this is one of the reasons pretrial exists. Like, why do we have trial before the trial? to determine like what witnesses will be called, who can testify, because, you know, who's a valid witness, who's relevant, what defenses you can argue, you know, what defenses are legally competent, you know, what you might be allowed to argue, what you can't argue, what you can't argue, right? So all those decisions are made before the trial so that everyone's clear. It's like, so yeah, we want to bring you into a trial without doing any of the preliminaries. It sounds like a bad plan, dude. It sounds like a very, very bad plan.
Preparing for it. So we scheduled a pretrial conference and you didn't show up. So I've called off the jurors for today, and the prosecutor has called off all the witnesses. And there are currently 3 separate warrants for your arrest for failing to appear. But you're here now.
Judge Middleton has given this guy so many chances over the last few months and has treated him really well, but we all saw this coming a mile off with how disrespectful he was in previous hearings. Judge Middleton is a fair judge, but this guy is pushing his luck.
I think I was unaware.
We sent
Prosecutor rolled his
that
eyes.
to the
That's
address
funny.
that you gave us.
Poor prosecutor.
And if you're representing yourself, you need to act like you're representing yourself. We sent you duly notice to your Sage Street address in Kalamazoo. The same notice you got for this.
I don't live there anymore, and I can't represent myself. I am myself.
All right.
Well, that
I'm
is
not
I mean,
clairvoyant.
he is actually very technically right. So I guess we'll give him a point for being hyper correct. I mean, strictly speaking, it is incorrect to say you're representing yourself. It is correct to say you are yourself. So, you know, I guess point for super technically correct, but you know, if you make this correction to a judge, you're a fucking idiot. Everyone knows what we're talking about. Don't get smart.
Miss Davis is here.
I'm still waiting for
On
jurisdiction.
behalf
Miss Davis is regretting every choice that's brought her up to this point in life right about now, and I feel her pain.
of the prosecutor's office, Miss Davis, you have any thought on this?
Your Honor, I would ask that he be held in contempt for failing to appear at the last pretrial. I would also ask that an order enter regarding discovery if all of these items that he's holding on to are intended to be used as exhibits at the trial. I would like to have copies of those so that we can be prepared. Also, I'd like to have our motion for joinder of the cases heard so we can settle that matter prior to choosing the jury and having another date set.
Okay, those are all very reasonable. Like, you know, contempt for not appearing. I want to know what he's holding up so I can, you know, look into it and stuff. And I want all the cases that are currently pending consolidated to save everyone time. You know, okay, fair enough.
Right in the middle of my busy arraignment morning when I have 14 people waiting to be arraigned, that probably work out too good.
If
But
we
it's
get
all
an
on
updated
him.
address.
He didn't show up. He also got notice of your motion. Mr. Morrow Bay, do you have documents that you were going to present as part of your defense?
I mean, I mailed in documents and I never got a response.
Well, did you have some? Do you have some you wish to present?
Well, I mailed in an affidavit to you more than once, and this is also my.
Oh, this is an affidavit of why he can't be held back. Yeah, the court's not going to respond to that. You know, the court's not going to respond to your affidavit that you filed saying I can't be brought before your court. The court, at best, will put it on the record, which they really should do, but they might not just because they can't even be bothered to do that. But yeah, they're definitely not going to respond to your random things that you sent in. That's not a thing that's going to happen. And the reason is because it's legally incompetent and we can't be bothered to care.
My legal notice for my lawful name change, because I put it on the record that I'm a Moorish American national and I'm not American or a U.S. citizen, excuse me.
You're not a U.S. citizen?
I'm native to the land.
Uh-huh.
So
you're a U.S. citizen.
rules
Congratulations. He says he's not a U.S. citizen, but he's native to the land. Unless you've gone through the trouble of going to a foreign embassy and formally renouncing your citizenship, but you're here, so that didn't happen. You're a U.S. citizen. Congratulations. It's very applicable.
And I was trying to be respectful to the court and let the court know since the beginning in a respectful manner. And I have lots of documentation to prove it.
All right. I want you to take Mr. Perdue into custody.
Okay.
We're going to execute the 3 bench warrants that are currently out for his arrest for contempt. We'll take him to jail and we'll make an arrangement later to discuss.
Are you arresting me right now?
Yeah, that would be
Right.
yes, that would be the thing that he just said. Yes, I want you to take him into custody for the warrants. You arresting me right now? Yes. Yes, I am.
Time to do it now.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah,
Mr. Perdue, you're going to jail, the St. Joe County Jail here in St. Joe County, and I'm going to hold on to you in lieu of 3 $1,000 bonds till we can review your contempt and the other things we need to deal with. But if you're going to represent yourself, you need to do it right. You need to show up when you're supposed to show up. You need to follow the rules of evidence and procedure. You don't just come in and say, I'm my own country.
Attorney TJ over here is like, yeah, you know, Attorney TJ is not having a great day.
I'm going to do what I want. So you're going to jail.
I was unaware.
The bond is $1,000 per file, and I will talk with you later. So right now you're going to the St. Joe County Jail.
Arrest him. Arrest the idiot. Bye.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
deal with him, Deborah, when we have more time.
Prosecutor says, thank your honor. It's like, yeah, I'm with you on this one, prosecutor. I feel you. I feel you on levels. I'm right there with you on this one. If I was a judge in this situation, I probably would pull that contempt trigger real fast for the sovereign citizens. It's like, you're not the boss of me. Contempt. I'm sovereign. Contempt. I'm a man of the land. Contempt. I can keep going. Don't do that.
But he's clearly in contempt. And he is his own person, so he isn't representing himself. He is himself. We'll see if we can sort that out.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I guess. This arrest has actually been on the cards for the last 6 months or so. Judge Middleton did warn him numerous times that this would happen, but at least he's off the road. Well, for now at least. Right, that's it for another video. Thanks.
I don't know how much it would help, but I think with these sovereign citizens, I feel like you got to whack them over the head at least a little to let them know it's real. I'm not saying we have to be particularly vindictive about it, but, you know, they come and say, you're not the boss of me. You can't do anything to me. It's like, I want to put you in jail overnight just as a teaching tool at that point, which I can do because you're wasting my time. Stop wasting my time. Stop it. You know, you can't come to me with the stupid, you know, it's not happening. But